Hey guys, thanks for watching. We hit 8,000 subscribers, finally. I don't know why, but I've been lingering around that number for a long time and just never seemed to make it over. So here we are. That's great. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching the videos. Just keep sharing everything, keep commenting on everything, keep liking everything, help those algorithms out, keep everything spreading. I feel like sort of at the same time I'm growing, I'm also getting throttled a little bit more. I don't know if that's accurate, but I'm having bigger guests than I've ever had on, and it's getting even harder to have reach that I had a few months ago. So I'm not sure what that is. I'm also on Odyssey now. That's in the link in the description. If you want to go click that and subscribe to me over on Odyssey, that would be great because I don't know how long I'm going to be on YouTube. We'll see. I'll be kind of surprised if I make it all the way through 2022 on YouTube. I'm going to try to, just because it's I mean, even though they suck and they censor stuff and everything, it is a good platform. You can really reach a lot of people on it. It's very mainstream. So it's just a nice thing to have in general. So I really don't want to lose it, but it's certainly a possibility with the type of stuff I talk about. So make sure you go over to Odyssey and subscribe to me right now. Let's see. We got Liam in the chat. Thanks, man. Thanks for all the help you've given me and coming on the show and having me on your show and stuff. I really appreciate the Epstein stuff you have been covering. You're welcome, Grant. That's something that, I mean, I don't even consider myself an expert in that area. I just know more than the average person, and I can point them in the right direction. So having people like Ryan or Addy Ads, or I'm actually working on getting an interview with Whitney Webb. She just had a baby, so she's kind of tied up with that right now. But I talked to her on Twitter last week, I think. Sent her a message, and she said she'd be willing to do something in the end of February, beginning of March. So that'll be pretty cool. Let's see, what does it say? On YouTube, let's talk about how great Odyssey is. Yes, I know I've already said this a couple times. If you just joined, make sure you go subscribe to me on Odyssey. It's in the link in the description. Let's see, we got David Bradley, as Dan Smots would call him. Oh, it's an AMA. Here's my Michael Malice question. What's your favorite part about me? Definitely the memes. The memes are incredible. They're absolutely tremendous. They're amazing. Never stop doing the memes, kid. I love them. They're hilarious. It's definitely your niche in the liberty movement, no doubt. You can make the memes, and then Sal can steal them from you later. Reed is the man. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Good work, Reed. You rock. Thank you, sir. Your show has been my favorite, only beaten by Part of the Problem since I started watching it. Well, that means I just got a little bit more work to do just to pass Dave Smith, and then we'll be doing good. What? Whitney. Yep. She's supposedly going to be coming on. Yeah, sorry, dude. I like the David Bradley thing. It's funny. Have you seen Ryan Dawson's Decades of Deception? I've seen War by Deception. I don't think I've seen Decades of Deception. I'll have to watch it. His documentaries they're great, but they're long. You need a lot of time to watch them. Let's see. Joke's on you. I blocked Sal. Oh, well, there you go. He won't be stealing your memes. Mustache Reed is the best Reed. Sorry, it's winter time. During the winter, it's cold, and I work outside, sort of. So I grow a beard in the winter. The mustache will probably be returning in May. We'll see. I've done it the last 2 years. Hey, thanks for checking in, everyone. If you got any, I'm doing Ask Me Anything. So if you got any questions, just throw them in the chat. Let's see. Watch Decades of Deception. All right, I will watch it. I will try to. I'll try to get a chance to watch that sometimes. We love you, Reed. All good. Thanks. I'm glad you guys like me. Yeah, I know Ryan and Whitney don't get along, or I know Ryan doesn't like Whitney. I don't know if that's reciprocated, but I've also had Jason Burmis on the show. I would have anyone on this show. So like, I'll continue to support Ryan, have him on all the time. There are people that I've had on the show who don't like Ryan. Some pretty big guests who have been on the show who don't get along with Ryan. I don't care about people's beef, as long as there's no like actual slander or something taking place. I don't really care about people's squabbles. So just addressing that. Let's see. What's your favorite genre of music? I like classic rock and like also like old country, bluegrass, that type of stuff. I'd say my favorite band is Creedence Clearwater Revival. I really like them. It's a shame they were only together for a couple of years. Um, but yeah, they're I'd say that's my favorite. Let's see. Why did you choose to become a truck driver? Well, I got my CDL when I was 18 because I wanted to work on power lines, and I needed the CDL to drive the trucks around. I didn't really enjoy working on power lines. It's really hard, long, laborious work. So I decided I wanted to do something that was a little easier on me and where I could see more of the country. And since I, excuse me, and since I already had the license, I decided I would hit the road and drive truck instead. Let's see. When are you going to get the payment processor that doesn't Google you like a cactus? I am working on that. I'm actually talking with Ryan and his friends. I'm gonna set something up because I actually want to start making a little bit of money. I should just talk about this right now. Um, I work 60 hours a week driving truck right now, and that's fine, but I just don't have time to do a lot of other stuff with this show that I would like to do. And sometime in the future, I would like to be able to focus more on the show, have more interesting guests, get more involved in politics and stuff. In order to do that, I need to start making some money in another way than just truck driving. And then, I could work part time eventually or something like that. So I do have a Patreon and I do have a few patrons over there, but, given the type of stuff that I delve into and talk about, I could get banned off of Patreon. So I'm probably going to set something up like what James Corbett has or what Ryan Dawson has, that you get to keep all your money that people donate to you, and you don't have to worry about someone kicking you off kicking off the server or whatever. Let's see. We're grown-ups and times are different. It's time for his conversations and it's time for conversations and deep conversations at that. I agree. Let's see. Bad Moon Rising, the Weather Underground organization. It's music taste. What kind of work boots do you wear? Cowboy boots, lace ups, Timberlands. So now I actually have a pair of Caterpillar cowboy boots that I wear during the summer. I think they're like Wolverine or something. They're those really cheap Walmart boots. Those are what I wear during the winter. They're insulated, they're lace up. I wear those when it's cold, and then the cowboy boots I just wear when it's reasonably warm because they're just easy to slip on and off in the truck. Do you have a wife? I do not have a wife. I'm single. I don't have a girlfriend right now either, so just me. Susie Q, we love you. Thank you for your continued work, Reed. Shout out on the Kim interview. Yeah, thank you. It's been great, and you're P1 Dizzy. You're one of my most loyal supporters. I really appreciate seeing you in all the live streams. I know I got a lot of Ryan Dawson people. There are a lot of people who will have Ryan on the show once or twice, but then they'll kind of like not have him back anymore. And obviously, like We've maintained a good friendship, and I have him on once a month. I'm actually going to meet him in person in March. That's going to be really cool. But I really appreciate all the Ryan Dawson fans who are over here paying attention to me too. I support Ryan, and I'm glad you guys support me in return. Do you need to? I don't know if this is a question. Do you need to diversify your monetary inflow? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do because right now it's all from truck driving, pretty much. I make a little bit off of this show, but I really haven't pushed things in that direction much. We got parts of Creedence Clearwater Revival songs here. Google Bad Moon Rising, Weather Underground. I will. Let's see. Hell yeah, thanks, pal. You got it. My first son drives fuel tankers for a living. Mad respect for you. F Patreon. Yeah, I agree. Maybe you should market the Reed based up. Is that boots? Oh, sorry. Based up boots. The Reed based up boot. The Reed laced up boots. Is that what you're going for? Yeah, I could do something like that. Reed based up boots, like Reed laced up boots. I like it. Yeah, we'll make something like that. Let's see. Why do so many dislike Ryan Dawson? Well, I think part of it is because of what he talks about. He's not always the friendliest to everybody, to be quite frank. But I don't look for people who are just nice or friendly. Like, I'm looking for content, and he's someone who really knows his stuff, really knows what he's talking about, and he's always been good to me. He's always, he sticks up for me all the time, and he's gotten me a lot of connections like James Corbett, Mike Rivero, Sean Atwood. So, if people are upset about it, they can go fuck themselves. I don't really care. He's my friend. Let's see. We know why it's okay. We know why we are Ryan Dawson. It's okay. Something to do with the tribe, probably. We found you through him. Yeah. Let's see. I had Ryan on the first time just about a year ago right now, because he lost his YouTube channel in January of 2021. And I think I had him on like January 26th of last year. And it was like 2 or 3 days after his YouTube channel had been deleted. I didn't even know that it was gone because it had been so recent before I had invited him on. Everyone was looking for him because he had disappeared. They didn't even realize he'd been deleted. So they're typing into YouTube Ryan Dawson, and it brought them to the video I had just had with him. And then I had him on again in March, I think. I didn't have him on in February, but I did again in March. And that's when we did our first 4 Horsemen. And then we just did one every month since then. So it's been pretty cool. Congrats on 8,000. Thank you. Ryan doesn't play well with others sometimes. He's on his stuff though, for sure. Yep, that's why I have him on. I found Reed through Dawson. The best ones know Dawson's work. Yeah, I mean, I was amazed how few people know who he is these days. I guess it probably shouldn't be surprising because he's been censored so much, but I've known Ryan. I've known about him since I think 2016, and I watched War by Deception and Empire Unmasked, and I watched his live streams occasionally. And then in 2020, I started to watch him a lot more often, and then obviously we became friends and started working together in 2021. The fuck, this man should be at 800,000. Well, I appreciate that. Just share the channel around, share the videos around, try to get me up higher in the algorithms, all that good stuff. Man, time flies. Yeah, it does. It's crazy. How do you deal with the censorship in general? Have you been kicked from any sites? Are you on Odyssey? Yes, I am on Odyssey. If you look in the description, there is a link right there to my Odyssey channel. please go follow me on there right now. Everyone who has an Odyssey, go follow me there. I don't know how long I'll be here. To answer your question, yes, I've been kicked off of Twitter. I've had one video taken down from YouTube. I'm surprised that's all they've taken down, to be honest. But yeah, one video off here, and I've been kicked off Twitter. Now I'm back. Just has low tolerance because he's been doing this for 12 years, and everybody's just barely coming in late and questioning things. Plus, he's the father of 3 and husband to 1. Yeah. You know, I've only been like heavy into this. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 2 years, but only like really heavily for a year. And just in this year, like the amount of people who have come after me, like, you know, Twitter APAC or the woke crowd or, you know, whoever, like it's been crazy. I mean, it will drive you mentally insane. He's been doing this for over 20 years. So I'm honestly amazed like how well he's handling it. Like, I mean, it'll drive you nuts. So don't judge someone who does the type of stuff he does until you try it out for yourself and see how crazy people act towards you. Dawson is way more interesting than the genuinely racist types. Heard them dismiss him for being anti-Semitic, but not a nationalist. Yeah, I mean, I've seen videos people put out, you know, calling him a Zionist or saying like he's blue-pilled on everything. The neo-Nazi crowd does not like Ryan. I mean, I know he's been on David Duke's show to talk about stuff and stuff like that, but it was, I don't know, because no one else would talk to him and he could have a free discussion about APAC. So he went over and talked to him and even said, like, I don't agree with you on a lot of your stuff. That's the type of thing he gets shit for. I would talk to anybody too. Like I would have Liz Cheney on this show if she wanted to come on. In my mind, Liz Cheney is much worse of a person than David Duke. And I don't like David Duke at all. He's a fucking retard, racist moron. But you know, so is Liz Cheney. She's a war criminal. But I would still have her on and talk. I think this idea that if you talk to bad people that you're a bad person is just absolutely ridiculous. The 4 Horsemen are everything. I agree. 4 Horsemen's the best part of my show, no doubt. Look forward to that every month. I don't know who we're having on next month. Haven't really talked about it yet. There's a great New Hampshire libertarian YouTuber named Length. What does that say? Lengthy U Narther. He's been at this for a long time. You should have a discussion with him. All right, I'll look him up. First heard Rye on Rivera's show 3 years ago. Yep. I found out, I didn't even know who Mike Rivera was. I wouldn't know without Ryan. Same with Sean Atwood, actually. I know Sean Atwood's very well known, but I found out about him through Ryan as well as Sam Tripoli, a lot of different people. Ryan knows a lot of those types of guys. You were always an advocate for him, and that's how I kept tuning into you. You've grown, and you're doing great. Shout out to you. Hopefully, you can retire from your day job when you're ready. Yep, I appreciate that. I stick up for if people show to me that they're good at what they do and that they're good people. I'll work with those types of people all the time. Unfortunately, I've found out that some people are not that way. Ryan passes with flying colors. Ryan's great. Odyssey is great. Got an Ender 3 and the Catalog Odyssey page. Yes, we're talking about Rye. Let's see. The 4 Horsemen. He is not a Zionist. No shit. He is not a Zionist. You're being censored these days. Those are the ones to pay attention to. Yes. Let's see here. This is a question. Usually call them Fed to discredit. Yeah, you see a lot of that too. Those of us that are truly based know it's not about black versus white. Correct. Let's see. When did you realize you were handsome? Well, when someone is dashing and manly as Drew Hancock happens to think that way, then I think that's just a dead giveaway. So I'd say I'd just say that's a good vote of confidence. So I'll go with that. So I guess right now is when I realize I'm handsome, and I will check out this guy. I don't know anything about him. I second the Four Horsemen comment. Such a great part of your show. It's how I found you. Yeah. We're probably eventually going to have to start repeating guests, but we just did number 11 a week ago with James Corbett, but there's a lot of based individuals out there. So we're going to keep racking them up and, keep doing that. I love that show. It's incredible. Lengthy Unarthur, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say that, was someone who inspired me to do YouTube. Well, if he inspired Drew Hancock, he must be great, because Drew Hancock is one of the best of us. Guys, go subscribe to this guy's channel. It's just under his name, Drew Hancock, but he does great videos. They've gotten more ridiculous lately, but they're still great. He does kind of Carrie Wedler style videos where it's him talking with graphics passing by and articles or whatever. He's done a lot of great stuff. He's really influenced my opinion on big tech companies as to whether or not they're private or public, or whether or not describing something as private or a government entity really fixes the problem. But just go check out his content. It's very good. What do you think about COVID narrative changing, countries suddenly dropping jab and mask mandates? I think that there are elections coming up this year, and the Democrats don't want to lose everything, because at their current trajectory, they're not going to win anything at all. So they're going to gaslight us into oblivion and act like, the vaccines are suddenly starting to work, or that they aren't working at all and we need to abandon them. Either way, I think it's going to change so that a lot of these restrictions are going to be going away, and they're going to be abandoning the narrative they've had so that they can win. And I'm assuming that's probably what's going on in other countries as well. Rye said to swear on Mike's show, and Mike wouldn't let him fill anymore. It was hilarious. Yeah. Apparently Mike is friends with Ann Coulter, and Eric Jackman was making a joke about Ann Coulter being a tranny when we were on Four Horsemen. So, oh well. Mike seems like a bit of a square, but that's cool. Reed, get on VK. Ryan has been saying this for a while. No censorship. Yeah, I know. I actually tried to make an account recently, and they wouldn't let me sign up for some reason. I'm going to revisit that. I need something other than what I'm on right now. Because he talks about the one thing you can't talk about, that's all, and then they use it to their advantage. It's quite unfortunate. I'm glad your platform is here so you can host good people. Yeah, I don't have a bell with me, but you all know the country that you're not supposed to talk about. Maria Farmer speaks well of David Icke, and he's kind of a kook. Yeah, I honestly have not listened to David Icke much. From what I know of him, he sounds like someone who's a bit fantastical. So yeah, there's that. But we're open to all the conversations. It's a new time, and we're all ready for it, in my opinion. Bless. Thank you, Drew. You're probably the brightest libertarian for how old you are that I've ever met. You're still smarter than me by a long shot, and definitely for only being 21. The work you've done is really impressive. Have you dug into the printed gun community at all? Some of those guys would make great guests on the show. Ivan, Vin, Control Pew, Chairman Woman, or 3D Print General would be interesting. Yeah, I don't know who any of those guys are, but I'm certainly open to it. I haven't dug into the community much, to be honest. I mean, I know what it is, but I haven't delved into it very deeply. But yeah, I'd be open to that for sure. Boris dropped off all COVID mandates. Yeah, I saw that. I think it's the same thing that's going on here. Like, the political tides have shifted, and the narrative is not. It's not a winning strategy anymore. So they got to save face. Let's see. How do you choose your guests? Well, I am looking for people who are looking for truth, I think is the best way to put it. They don't have to necessarily agree with me, but I'm just looking for people who seem like they're not just trying to push a narrative, but it's actually what they believe in, and they actually think they're right, and they're actually trying to unearth what's really going on. So like Abby Martin would be a great example of someone like that. I disagree with her on, a lot of stuff, but I think she is someone who is really trying to figure out what's true and trying to, unearth facts and stuff like that. Kim Iverson just had her on the show last night. Another person who I think I'm actually, she and I are probably more aligned now than we ever have been before, because all this COVID bullshit. But in general, like there's some stuff we disagree on. But she's someone who also I think is like sincerely looking for truth. So I'm not interested in people like I don't even know if I would have Steven Crowder on the show, even if I could, maybe, but um, it would probably be to call him out more than anything. Like I don't think there's a sincere bone in that guy's, or I shouldn't say that. I think he's sincere about some things, but I think he's definitely just pushing a narrative, and he's a bit of a charlatan. Uh, so I don't know. Like I'm open to talking to charlatans, but it would be more in an exposing manner. But I'm really interested in talking to people who seem to be trying to find out what's true. So that's why I really like people like Adam Fitzgerald, Ryan Dawson, James Corbett. I'm looking forward to that Whitney Webb interview coming up. Stuff like that, I think, is what I strive for. And then I just try to figure out a connection to them. So, like James Lindsay knew Phil LeBont. I'm really good friends with Phil, so he hooked me up with James. And then Dave Smith helped me get Tom Woods on the show. So I just try to use those connections, and have no shame in that. Have you seen how 3D print homemade gets are being used in Myanmar? Liberty lovers around the world should take notice and support the community. Yeah, like I said, this is not something I've really looked into, but I'm certainly open to researching it. But I'll look into that for sure, and I'll look into maybe some of the guests you mentioned earlier. We'll see if we can make something happen. Let's see. I think Icky talks lizard shit so people think he's nuts. Oh, sorry. I think Ike. Sorry, the computer screen's like just on the edge of my my readability. I think Ike talks lizard shit so people think he's nuts and leave him alone. Yeah, I honestly don't know him that well. I know Eric thinks he does it for attention, just to get people to pay attention to what he's talking about. I'm not sure. Have you ever been to Pork Fest? Would it be weird if I walked up to you and said hi if you were there? Yeah, I went to Pork Fest last year, and it was weird. Speaking of, if you would feel weird walking up to me and saying hi, I remember I went there with my dad, and when we were pulling up, I said, there are probably going to be a few people here who know who I am. And I think I talked to over 200 people while I was there. It was pretty overwhelming and crazy. But yeah, if you see me at Pork Fest, don't be afraid to come say hi. Absolutely. Have you looked into the Lockerbie bombing? I have not, but I will now that you mention it. Crowder is so annoying. I agree with you there. Let's see. Canada was at least trying to mandate jabs for truck drivers across the border from US to Canada, and likewise the other way. Any opinions on the matter? Yeah, so I saw something come out about this, I think in December or so, and people were like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I was saying, no, well, this doesn't affect me. This is I think the last time I looked, unless it's changed, it was just international drivers coming in from Canada or from Mexico that had to be vaccinated to come into the United States. I think that was that was what our policy was. And then Canada, I know they were like at least testing everyone at the border. Like you had to have a negative test within, you know, within 36 hours prior, and then you had to do another one when you showed up at the border or something, or they were trying to push that. Yeah, I think it's all stupid. Um, but I mean, ultimately, Canada can do whatever it wants, you know. So I think that the I don't think either country should be doing it. But I also think like if countries are going to have these authoritarian mandates, they're going to suffer for them. So I say like fuck it, let them do it. And same with states. Like at this point, I I'd advocate moving. Like if you can't change your own state, just move out of it, go somewhere else. Um, and like fuck them if they want to be absolutely retarded about this shit. Let them dig themselves into a deeper hole. Need more thermal detonator. Yeah, Nelson was a good guest. I've had him on twice now. The four, what number was that? I think it was Four Horsemen number 9 or number 8. I can't remember. 8, I think. It was taken off YouTube, but it's on Odyssey. Nelson was in that episode, and then I had him on for a solo episode like a month later. Let's see. Ask Thermal Detonator about Lockerbie. I will do that. My boy, how's it going, Eric? Good to have you in the stream. Free trade if you abide and comply. Yeah. Well, when you have free trade between nation states, it never ends up being like actual free trade. Let's see. Yeah. So like I was saying earlier, I would like to start transitioning this show to a platform that I can actually make some money off of. So I'm thinking about different ways to do that. Like I said, I'm probably going to be setting up a website where people can pay me directly so I don't have to lose any of it to Patreon or YouTube or anything, and I don't have to worry about getting banned. The question I have for you guys is, how do you want me to go about this? So I can just have like voluntary support. So you guys could just choose to support me because you like what I do. You can give me 10, $5, $10, $20 a month or whatever. Or if that doesn't work, if not enough people are giving me money, I can do things a couple ways. Like I could restrict all of my content that you have to pay something really cheap, like $5 a month to see it. And then you can hear it for free. But to watch the videos, you'd have to pay $5 a month. Or I could do tiers. Like if you pay $10 a month, you could watch the live streams and you could interact like you do on YouTube right now. Or I could, put everything behind a paywall for like 3 days. So if you pay $10 a month or something, or $5 or whatever it ends up being, you can watch things live. But then after 3 days, it goes public, so everybody can still see it, because I still want everybody to be able to see my content. I don't want to really restrict it permanently, but there's got to be some sort of incentive to, get people to help me out a little bit. I mean, if I could, I've got 8,000 subs on here now. I've got 10,000 followers on Twitter. I got a pretty consistent, when you put Odyssey, YouTube, and Spotify and everything all together, I haven't actually figured out what the average viewership is, but it's probably around like 3 or 4,000 per episode average. And that, I mean, sometimes I'll get like 8 or 10. Sometimes I'll only get like 2,000 or 1,000. So it's kind of all over the place, but it's pretty typically like around 3,000 or something like that. But if I could get 1,000 people to give me $5 a month, I would very easily be able to work part-time and, really focus on the show. So I'm just trying to figure out like what the best way to do that is. But let me know in the comments, like not in the live stream, but actually like comment on the video how you think the best structure would be. Like, what would entice you the most to support, or what do you think would entice the most people? What do you think would be the fairest so everyone can still, um, see the content or whatever? Let's see, we got some comments piling up here. I would do that, but not if I'm paying Bill Gates. Get with Dawson. Absolutely. Don't worry. I'm not going to be doing it through some big tech platform. Tim Pool Guys build something to set up payment for independent contractors. All right. That's good to know. Early paid content. Yeah. I mean, that seems to make the most sense to me. Let's see. Put stuff like the Four Horsemen and Capitalist Communion behind a paywall for a few days, so that way your bigger episodes can be seen by a paying audience first. Yeah, so I'm going to try to start doing like more just big shows. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been trying to back away from just putting content out and like actually trying to really have impressive shows. Um, so like, I mean, like you look at my guests this week, it's been James Corbett for the Four Horsemen, and then Dak Rouleau, who's been a friend a long time, and he's very smart, so he's got good content. And then Kim Iverson, and then Phil Labonte and James Lindsay. Like, that's a pretty stellar lineup. So I'm trying to elevate the level that all these shows are. So I'm going to be doing fewer of, just inviting some random guy from Twitter on or whatever. There's going to be less of that. So I think it'll be something where I probably put everything behind the paywall. And I think like 2 or 3 days is good because, if I do 2 weeks, by the time it goes public to everybody, it's kind of stale, and it's, the heat has passed on the issue. Reed, get Adam Curry on the show from No Agenda. Yeah, I've man, have I talked to him before? I can't remember. Oh yeah, no, he's been on I think it's Adam Curry, right? He's been on Tower Gang. He's been on some of my friends' shows too, I think, if I'm thinking of the right guy. But yeah, I would certainly be open to that. Drop your links, Jackman Brothers. Yeah, Jackman Brothers, drop your links. Go follow these guys. Jackman Radio, obviously, he's one of my partners on the Four Horsemen. He's been a good friend for coming up on, it'll be 3 years here pretty soon. It's pretty amazing. But we've done a ton of stuff together. He just had Maria Farmer on his show. He's had Adam Fitzgerald on his show. He might be having Robert F. Kennedy on his show soon. So lots of exciting stuff going on over there. And then he's got video. He's done interviews with Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang, Bill Weld, Marianne Williamson, Jesse Ventura, all sorts of like crazy big names. So go check that show out. Definitely worth subscribing. And mix up your content. All right, I'm trying to do that. I feel like I've had a pretty good spread this week. Let's see. I like the new setup, though. What do you suggest to up-and-coming content creators to get started? Well, I think your content matters more than your presentation. Obviously, I didn't finally get a good microphone and shit until I had 8,000 subscribers. But I think I would go like less complicated with the good stuff. Like I mean, I know people who buy like $1,000 worth of gear and they have like 200 subscribers on YouTube. So that's not what you want. You want to make sure that you're producing good stuff. So if I know like you guys should go subscribe to this guy, by the way, the Road to Providence with David Brady. He's having Scott Horton on this weekend. He probably already recorded, but I think the Sunday special is Scott Horton. It's tomorrow. Just keep doing that type of stuff. Have the bigger guests that you can have, the biggest guests you can get, ask the good questions. And once your page starts growing and there's promise in what you're doing, then branch out, buy the equipment, but don't do that first. Don't put the cart before the horse. Make sure you got solid content first. You're killing it, Reed. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Simon. Appreciate it. You are the perfect drug. Go with Entropy. I hear they take 15%, but it's platform. Yeah, I know Ryan has used Entropy a lot. Just looking at my options, see what I end up. Right on, Jackman Bros. Hell yeah. Jackman Radio. No, Adam has not been on Tower Gang. Adam Curry literally invented podcasting. I'm sorry. I'm very. No, I think it was Tim Curry, who was on Tower Gang. I forget. But Adam Curry, I don't know who he is. I'm sorry. That's ignorance on my part. But I'd be open to that. Let's see. Support Jackman Radio. My favorite part of the Jackman show is when Governor Ventura comes out. Absolutely. Let's see. 2 weeks is Scott Horton. Angela McCardle is this weekend. All right. Sorry. That's another great guest, though. Let's see. Redo an appearance on Nick Rakita's stream. This guy is a big up and comer. All right, I'd be open to it. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, thanks for subscribing, everybody. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've got, stuff in the works. I know, like, Tulsi Gabbard said she was going to come on my show almost a year ago now. But that, I don't know. I just talked to the media organizer for her a couple days ago, and apparently it's still going to happen, but I don't know when. It took Steven Crowder like a year to get her on, and he has a lot more subscribers than I do. I know her personally, but still, she's really busy. I did also reach out to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So that'll be interesting if that happens, but I'm working on that. But yeah, thanks guys. 8,000, that's pretty cool. Let's keep pushing it. I'll do another one of these when I reach 9,000. But until next time, guys, I will catch you later.